It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYOnline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
We have reached the 1st of July. Good morning, everyone. Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios. We are on the air with the Sideline Report from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton, the WPKY studios. Another big show lined up for you today. A little bit later on, Torrey Hammett will be here, and we'll be talking about the West Kentucky Hoops Classic. That's back on this season after taking a year off because of COVID last year. That's coming up in December, and we'll talk about the lineup for that. But going to start this morning with Lyon County Assistant Baseball Coach Corky Peck. And Corky, congratulations to you guys on a great run, and good morning, and thanks for coming in today.
First off, thank you.
You're welcome.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Covering us. A lot of people did, frankly. We didn't know we had such a big media following until we made it so far, I guess. And, need to thank a lot of people,
Well, when you look on the field after that last game and you guys reached the state semifinals up in Lexington, there is a pretty big media presence on the field at that point.
There certainly was. Little old Lyon County with that media throng, you knew you did something special, honestly. We didn't feel like at that moment we didn't feel special at all, but, after taking time to reflect a little bit and, certainly we did accomplish something special. We want to do more, obviously, and that's our goal, but, like I said, having some time to reflect, certainly we did.
Well, that was going to be my first question because you're kind of like me. You used to put a newspaper section together, sports section. You used to write. You used to cover sports. Now that you've had a couple of weeks to kind of digest the run Lyon County had, what are kind of your thoughts on it?
That's a great question. My first thought was that going into it this year that we were confident that we could make such a run, but we knew we had to put the work in, and I'm so proud of our guys that they did that because they did. You don't reach that kind of goal without working your butts off, frankly. You've got to have the guys to do it, that kind of talent, but certainly you don't get that far without working hard, and from top to bottom, frankly. We had young guys that pushed the older guys in practice. The older guys set the bar pretty high, frankly. And obviously going forward, what they achieved, that's the standard of excellence for this program now. And, I know lots of them this summer going out and trying to make themselves better. And our program, our coaching staff has already talked about things we can do better, where we need to get stronger, faster, quicker, how we need to do things differently and better, or just be more focused, frankly, because, we are still the little guy. But that doesn't mean we can't compete at that level and continue to compete at that level.
Well, one of the things I told people up in Lexington when they would kind of ask about Lyon County, and I think you guys picked up a lot of fans along the way being a small school, but I didn't think of you guys as hey, that's a really nice small school team. You guys had a really good baseball team. And,
Sure.
when Caldwell had those good teams and went to state, that's what I tried to tell people. It's not a good small school team. They're just good. That's why they're here. And same thing for you guys. You were good. That's why you were there.
Yeah, we thought that too. And we appreciate everybody jumping on the bandwagon, no doubt about it. But I think everybody, at least in Western Kentucky, understood that we had a good baseball team. It wasn't some feel-good Cinderella story that, we had tough, hard-nosed kids that played the game the right way, first and foremost, and that our coaching staff respected the game and we pushed our kids the right way to play the game the right way. And then, like you said, you get out of Western Kentucky a little bit and, get to Lexington, they're like, hey, who are these guys? And, you win a game and, you get a little respect maybe, and then you go up against Louisville Trinity, and everybody thinks, well, they're going to run them off the field, and all of a sudden you're going into the fifth inning, and it's a 0-0 ball game, and everybody's going like, man, these guys can play a little bit. So maybe we gained a little bit of respect. Hopefully we did. I mean, anybody that makes the Final Four in the state tournament, that doesn't happen by luck.
So it's kind of the Bill Murray thing from Caddyshack, unknown from out of nowhere. But you guys really weren't, because had there been a season last year, I think it was probably Lyon County and Hopkinsville again. One of those teams was probably coming out of this region, and just unfortunately we didn't get to have that season.
Yeah, we agree. Yeah, we thought so too. And, that was one of the driving factors that we talked about in the very beginning of the year at least. And frankly, going into the first parts of the season, we knew that not having last year impacted us a little bit, frankly. Not having last season, we weren't as solid as we thought we should be, but, we made up for lost time pretty quickly. But, yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, I thought a lot of teams actually were hurt by not having a year. As a matter of fact, when this past season started, I think you could see some of that rust on teams where they just, you could tell they hadn't played a whole lot.
Yep, I agree, and we were kind of that way, for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, first 2 weeks maybe, I would say. And then, we took a really difficult loss, and then it kind of woke us up, frankly. And honestly, that may have been the best thing that happened to us, because we added Bowling Green on the schedule. It was top 5 at the time, I think, and then we added another game with McCracken that we already had 2 on the schedule, and we added McCracken, 2 games that we didn't have, and top caliber competition. We kind of looked at this year like, hey, we'll play anybody anywhere. We know we've got that kind of talent. We want to play top-notch competition to prepare us for the postseason. And frankly, that loss was the best thing that ever happened to us, because it woke us up. We got the opportunity to play those 2 teams. And, the loss at Bowling Green, that was a 6-4 ball game, and we made 7 errors. And that's a game we could have won, but, hey, we've got to clean ourselves up defensively a little bit. If we do, we can compete with anybody and beat anybody. And then, frankly, the next game we did that.
Yeah, you talk about the University Heights loss in the All-A Classic in the first round, and certainly that caught a lot of people by surprise. But I think I'd rather have the run at the end of the year than the All-A Classic, although you guys probably would have shaped up pretty well at the All-A Classic.
Well, OCATH won it.
Yeah.
And we beat them in the semi-state. So, they're a great team. They beat us at our place during the season, and we got them in the postseason, and, we'll play them again next year. So,
I
that's
thought,
baseball.
Looking at your postseason run, to me that Owensboro Catholic win was the most impressive of the bunch.
It could have been. Playing the field at Western, and they had studs, up and down their lineup. They threw 2 really good arms at us.
Well, that's a top 5 team, too.
They are. They absolutely are. And we jumped on them. We were well prepared for them. And then they came back a little bit. And one thing I forget until this moment how hot it was that day. And Austin pitched his tail off that day and kept them down. And frankly, if the heat wouldn't been a factor, I think he would have probably kept them down the entire game. And then that put Jackson in a difficult situation. Jackson's the kind of guy that has to warm up a long time. And then when he's warm, he's fine. But he had to come in and get Austin because it was so hot. And then, thankfully, in the bottom of the 7th, when they made their rally, we got out of it. We got an atom ball right at Brady in center. And, that right there, you say you've got to have a little luck to make that kind of run. Well, that was our luck right there, because that kid.
That's baseball, though.
It is. It hit a bullet, and Brady was right there and made a great play to get us out of that 7th. But, we changed the momentum right there in the top of the inning when Yancey, hits a ball down the left field line, and all of a sudden, we've got a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And, we put in Johnny Bingham, he runs, and we get a wild pitch, and then Jackson does what Jackson does. He hits a seed to drive in the go-ahead run, and then, hey, we've got the momentum back, and he closes the game out. But, it was just a well-played ball game.
Yeah, it was so hot that day, though, that the 1 o'clock game didn't start till 4 o'clock. That's how hot it was, and, of course, Western Kentucky has the artificial turf, and that doesn't help cool things down. And, it's great, but it doesn't help cool things down.
Well, you were down there in the dugout with us, so you got firsthand. Yeah. It was tough down there, and, of course, we were in the shade with, water and everything right there, at arm's length. And, the guys were out on the field, and, I remember we pinch hit for Austin one time just so he could get some extra time in the dugout and drink. And we had a cooler with towels in the dugout for the guys, and he sat there that one inning just so, that's why we pinch hit for him. A lot of fans may not know that, but that's why we did it.
Yeah.
Just so he could get, we needed every ounce that he could give us, and he gave it to us that day, and he gave us a little more because of that.
Need to get to a break here on the show. Talking this morning with Corky Peck, who's one of the assistant coaches for the Lyon County Lion baseball team, which reached the state semifinals this year. Going to be back with more on the Sideline Report after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Torrey Hammett or Fred Foltz, or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
Pro Collision in Princeton is so thankful for their loyal customers. They know that a collision is the last thing you want or need in your life, but they're thankful that you have trusted them through the years. 34. They will restore your vehicle to Pro Collision condition. Jim King and his staff are ASE and ICAR certified with a climate-controlled facility. That means no moisture, which means a better repair for you. Thanks again for your business from Pro Collision Body Shop, a certified collision repair center in Princeton, Kentucky.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Talking right now with Corky Peck, Lyon County Baseball assistant coach. And Corky used to be the head coach at Lyon County for a little while, too. How'd you kind of get into the coaching game?
Well, always been a student of the game. And, when I moved to Frankfort, let's see, when was that? 1999. I had the opportunity to, and this may be a name Joe Cowley. He got drafted out of high school out of Lexington Lafayette, pitched in the majors, actually threw a no-hitter in the majors. I had the opportunity to help him as an assistant coach up there in summer ball. Got in it that way, just soaked up everything I could from him. Did that for a couple of summers when I was up there, and then actually did the Frankfort summer team, the American Legion team up there. And gosh, talk about fun. I mean, I got like the top 5 or 6 kids from Western Hills, Frankfort High, and Franklin County. 1 year removed from Franklin County going to the Final Four. So I had studs. I mean, I was making out a lineup card, and they just went and won. Won 42 games up there with that team, and, just so much fun. And then that summer, I got the opportunity to move back home in my job with the Cabinet for Economic Development. And Jeff Doon was, of course, the athletic director, and he's like, hey, you want to be the assistant baseball coach? Sure. So I did that for 1 year. And, of course, Randy Jackson, who ended up being the pitching coach for Caldwell County, was the head coach. And did that for 1 year with Randy, and then got the head coaching job the year that he left Lyon County and moved up here because he got a teaching job up here, which was more permanent, I think. than what he had at Lyon County. I think he was maybe in middle school. I don't even remember, but I did that for, gosh, I don't even remember when I quit. It seemed like forever. You know, obviously the ball field construction during that time frame, reconstruction, I guess. I never would have given it up had I not progressed in my professional career. But, you know, thankfully under Ricky, you know, he came to me and said, hey, I need, you know, would love for you to be on my staff, and you know, I couldn't refuse.
Yeah, I remember when you were a head coach, and I'd come down and do the interviews for the previews and those kind of things, and we'd take pictures. It was always a lot of fun. So,
Sure.
A lot of Caldwell Lyon connections because Jimmy Dyer was head coach at Lyon County at one point. He's head coach at Caldwell County for a second time now. So,
That's right.
like I said, a lot of connections between the two communities. I always say that eventually, you know, once we have some kind of consolidation in the state and we have a few less counties, I guess, we'll all live in Lionwell County.
That's kind of interesting. Lionwell County. You know, and that's something, too, I wanted to mention. I want to thank Bradley and Dono. You know, and you're right. You know, our two schools are rivals, but when we were up there, both of them reached out to me and said, go win the thing. Mm-hmm. You know, and just what class acts they are. You know, and, you know, when I was head coach, we competed hard against each other, but we were friends off the field. It's no different this year. I mean, what a great job Dono and Jimmy did with Caldwell County's baseball team this year. You know, when we played them early in the year, you know, where they got that team from the beginning of the year to winning a district championship was just outstanding, and that's on their shoulders, frankly. So I just want to mention them, what class acts that Bradley and Dono, and obviously Coach Dyer. I mean, you know, when he was baseball coach, I got on a bus with him and a bunch of teenage boys to go to Florida back in the day, and I won't mention a lot of those things. He would kill me. But just what class acts they are, and obviously, you know, we want to be class acts too. So,
well, getting back to the run to the state semifinals, like we said earlier, that doesn't just happen overnight, and you guys didn't just have a bunch of players fall in your lap. I mean, those guys, that group of seniors and juniors, those guys have all been playing together for a long time.
They have been. You know, first off, they were brought up in the program. A lot of them very athletic, a lot of them baseball guys, no question about it. And, you know, fundamentally solid. You know, I know they'd won in middle school. Throughout the summer, they've done the right things. And then just getting them when we got them. You know, one thing I want to mention too, I think that's important. You know, you can have a group of talented guys that are athletic, but you got to have team chemistry. And that's something I want to applaud our guys for. That, you know, having, you know, and it's something we talked about a lot, and I think it got out a little bit on social media, is about we over me, playing for each other and not being selfish and things like that. This group truly bought into that, you know, and it's easy to talk about that, but it truly happened with this group. And honestly, without that happening, you know, we don't win the region probably. Just because, you know, and, you know, I've had, frankly, you know, when I was head coach, I had talented teams. I don't know that we were ever good enough to win the region. We were good enough to win the Class A, and it just didn't happen because of that lack of team chemistry and the lack of picking up my brother when he failed. But this group truly had that.
Well, I think when you look at a successful baseball team, all you have to look at is the dugout and the way the dugout is engaged. And you guys, the dugout was like it was a big party the whole time the game was going on, because those younger kids, even though some of them knew they were never going to get in a game, they were up and encouraging.
That's right. Our guys have fun. And they, you know, our eighth graders all the way up to our seniors, they want to have fun. They encourage each other, and they want to be a part of it. And what's the right way to say this? They, you know, we never directed anything toward another player, but if they could be loud and be maybe a little obnoxious, that was fun to them. And we certainly didn't discourage that because everybody else is that way.
Well, the hamburger cheeseburger thing always got me every time.
Yeah, they stole that one from another team. I tell you what, it worked and it was funny.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it's about. These guys coming together, having fun. And that's a great environment to succeed in, frankly. So.
Well, congratulations again. That was a fantastic run. I do want to ask you about a couple of other things, and one of them is baseball.
Sure.
Because I know you guys had the initials on your shirt sleeves the whole time you were going through the run, and I saw recently where Mineral Mound is going to name the golf course down there for Cullen Brown. I mean, that's pretty special too. Yeah,
it sure is. I mean, it is. I'd give anything if he were still here. That he was still playing golf at UK.
Well, that's a kid that I remember going down and watching them when I took pictures, for the newspaper, do the previews, and I think he was like a fifth grader. Yeah. And somebody's like, watch this kid, he's going to be really good. And it didn't take long for him to get really good. So they were right on the money there. And
well, it's just the right thing to do. And for years to come, people will know that that's where he played and practiced a lot. And, I can remember, rolling up from 17 there with Brandon Oath, my buddy, and just watching in awe. Jay would be there with him, and they'd be hitting from the back tip, and he was selling them all the way to the green, I mean, I've got that image in my mind, and oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor, no doubt, and Cullen's certainly deserving of that and everything else that comes his way. But, man, I wish he was still here.
Even the shirt you've got on today, the Lyon County shirt, has Owen Matthews on the sleeve. I mean, that's I know that's something that was a really important thing for you guys.
It was, and Owen, and, I'm grateful, his mother and sister. We had our banquet last week. She came out and gave us a little medallion. They mean the world to us. And of course, Todd Reddick, he's another member of our sports family. And of course, Jackie plays for the basketball team. It was a tough year, frankly, and there's still hearts that are hurt and will continue to hurt, but. We've got our arms around their families, and we'll continue to for as long as we need to. We still love all of them, and that's not going to change.
A great way to end the season, though, with that run, and been a strong sports season for Lyon County.
We've got a great group of kids. There's no doubt, and we've got some really good coaches too. And I was thinking about this: the two sports, and I'm talking about boys right now, basketball and baseball. They really complement each other. And obviously girls softball and basketball had great years. I mean, heck, we haven't even talked about our girls softball team winning the All-A-State tournament.
Right.
I mean, good grief. That's not easy at all. Winning any state tournament isn't easy.
Well, you get to state in the All-A Classic, and you guys kind of ran into this at the end of the year. You run into those private schools, and, we could devote an entire show to the whole public-private thing. But, I mean, it's really tough when you have to play those schools in the postseason.
That's right. I mean, and our girls, they did something special by beating them, and, we did our best. We beat OCATH. We came up a little short against Trinity, but, we're going to take another shot at them next year. But, yeah, kudos to Jason Collins and his staff, and, gosh, what a run by those girls. Kaylin Conger and Sydney Melton. And obviously Callista, but, she's coming back.
Yeah.
So she'll have another shot at it. But and the other girls, I'm sure, Caitlin Dykes, I know she was one of the other girls that graduated. And I'm sure I'm forgetting others. But, shout out to them. And, they're etched in Lady Lions softball history forever.
For sure.
That's the first team state championship in school history. Nobody, Cullen's still the only one, the big one.
Yeah.
But maybe it's supposed to be that way. Hopefully not. But Yeah, great run for them.
Well, I appreciate you coming in this morning and talking about it. And, again, that was a fantastic run. It was a lot of fun covering you guys all the way to the state semifinals. And you guys are going to be another one of those regional contenders again next year.
We're sure going to try. Thank you, Todd, for having me.
Absolutely. That's Corky Peck, Lyon County Baseball assistant coach. Again, appreciate him coming in this morning. Torrey Hammett is going to join us when we come back and talk about the Caldwell County Hoops Classic, so stay tuned. The Sideline Report rolls on here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Hancock's Neighborhood Market.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, 80% chance of rain and thunderstorms today with a high temperature topping out at 80 degrees. 80% chance continuing in the evening hours. It's slowed down to 64 degrees. Mostly sunny skies on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high 82, Saturday's high 80 degrees. Once again, our forecast today, 80% chance of showers, thunderstorms. Today's high near 80 degrees. Right now we're at a muggy 74 degrees and cloudy skies.
Get ready for back to school with Health First Community Health Center, offering physicals, immunizations, ADHD treatment, and well child, sick child visits. At Health First, we offer affordable, quality health care for the entire family. We accept K-CHIP, Medicaid, Medicare, and all major commercial insurance. A discount program is available based on income and household size. Call today to make your appointment at 1-877-667-7017.
At the Edge Media Group, we're looking for a highly creative person to become our next marketing specialist on our sales team. Our mission is to help local small businesses grow. We use our radio stations as well as all of our digital marketing products to create promotions that provide tremendous results for our clients. The position offers excellent earnings opportunity in a progressive, fast-paced environment. If this sounds interesting to you, email your resume to me, Amy Berry, at aberry@oldies1480.com.
We are back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Again, I appreciate Corky Peck coming in and talking baseball with us this morning on the show. Right now, though, we're going to switch gears and talk basketball. Torrey Hammett is with us. And, Torrey, how are things coming? First of all, thanks for coming in. And how are things coming with the Caldwell County's West Kentucky Hoops Classic?
Yeah, so it's going really good, Todd. We've got kind of the schedules. The schedule's not built out yet, but the teams have been contracted with. We're still waiting on a couple contracts to come back, but don't anticipate any problems. Got a lot of cool stuff to bring this year with 6 different states represented. I think we've got 10 boys teams and 5 girls teams. So it's looking really good. Just excited to get back after last year's year off debacle, and then get back out and get in the gym, get in the cab, and get some top multi-state talent coming in to play some basketball for us at a time of the year where there's kind of slow around here, so kind of pep things up with some basketball.
Well, are you ready to unveil the teams that are going to be here this year?
Yeah, I haven't started, promoting on Twitter like I start doing. I was kind of waiting until a little bit after July 1 to start putting that out and promote those teams. But they're excited. So yeah, we'll Huffman, Alabama. Huffman was scheduled to come last year. They were going to be our first Alabama team in the 6A class to come. We had Pinson Valley out of 5A the year before. So we had 6A Huffman, Alabama. So when the COVID caught that, they agreed to come on back this year. So we're excited about them. They're extremely athletic, right there around Birmingham. So we're looking forward to having them. And they're in the 6A class in Alabama, and that's a tough class down there. So that's going to be really good basketball. Then we have 5A Holmes County Central, Mississippi, down around Jackson, Mississippi. That'll be our farthest, the furthest someone's come from the state of Mississippi in the south. It's kind of hard to reach down quite that far away, but they're excited. They're an ex-state runner-up, going to be an athletic team. And that 5A class in Mississippi is really, really good. Had several teams coming out of that, several D1 kids, so we're looking forward to having them. Then we've got 6A Marion, Arkansas. It took a long time to get them to commit because they were in demand from a lot of different places, but they just decided that us being kind of close to them, something different that they had done before, and of course I was dangling some of these other teams in front of them to say, hey, I need somebody to play a couple good teams. Like I got some teams that just can't play anybody, and I need somebody like what I can tell that you are to come play them. So he said he was ready for anybody, anytime. I'm going to try to contract him again, too, because he's got 3 sophomores that he said, man, they're good. So hopefully they'll be able to come back maybe another year in the future. Then we've got 3A, Arlington, Tennessee. So I was talking to several teams in Memphis because, we always try to pull at least a Memphis team, maybe even 2, because that's such good basketball there. Gosh, I was trying to remember the guy's name that I was talking to that told me about Arlington because I didn't know about Arlington. But it's, gosh, well, I want to tell you because it's,
yeah,
go ahead.
I miss the fact that we didn't get to have it last year because Musa Cisse was going to be here.
Yes. Is that crazy or what? And
like our first 7-footer, and we didn't get to see that.
Out of Memphis, so that would have been, that would have been, I think he was with Lausanne, I think is the name of it. But, y'all will know, well, basketball fanatics will know this guy that I've been talking to because he is man, I don't know if I'm going to pull it out, so I'm not going to try too long. But anyway, so Arlington, I got to that coach finally, and so he was being courted by a couple different places too. So I was sales pitching him on why he needed to come over here and be a part of this, and they're kind of close, and be a part of helping us out. And is Coach Lawson, Chuck Lawson. He had a boy play at Memphis, and just if you looked up the Lawson family out of Memphis, great basketball players, coaches, and all that. He's got a brother that coaches as well. But anyway, back to my list. Arlington, Tennessee. They're really athletic. He thinks he'll be a top 5 state. He thinks he'll be top 5 in the state of Tennessee. So, when he told me that, I pepped up my hardcore sales draw to him. They're like, man, you got to come be a part of this. Then we're right here. And I tell you, let me stop on the teams for a minute because I just rolled off 6A Huffman, Alabama, 3A Arlington, Tennessee, 5A Holmes County, Central Mississippi, and 6A Marion, Kentucky. Marion, Arkansas. I'm sorry, 6A Marion, Arkansas. So these teams always ask, what's going on? Like, tell us about what you're doing. So of course we through the sponsorships and the folks in the town committing to being a part of it with us and giving. We do have the 3 title sponsors, which is Williams and Fawn, CPAs in town, Princeton, First Southern, National Bank, which Jason does a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't know, other than just being a financial title sponsor, helping with the concession stands and providing, folks that are employed there with First Southern, giving them the ability to come out and do this at the basketball tournament on the clock, so to speak, so that's nice. And then, of course, Goodwin Insurance is a title sponsor as well. But we have all kinds of other sponsors that come in under that help us pull this off. So one of the things we're able to do with them is provide hotel rooms for at least a night, in some cases 2 nights on those that are coming from further away. So that's nice because they want to get, they kind of want to get their kids away and bond and all that good stuff. So that's nice. But then we have, we have some other things that we do, providing a meal that night. The hotel that they stay at has a breakfast, so that's another meal. So essentially that's 2 meals. And then HR Ministries came on to do a morning breakfast for us. And I use that a lot to say, hey, it's a team breakfast. It's going to be an opportunity for you to hear someone speak to you, give a good news message for the kids while they're eating a solid breakfast. We got giveaways there because they always put together giveaways and a gift for every player as well as giveaways. And so that's a draw to give us a 3rd meal, and that's on the 2nd day morning. And this year, we already have scheduled a speaker for that, so I guess I can tell you a little bit about that. But his name is Max Apple, and he is the chaplain for the University of Kentucky boys basketball team. So I got to hear him speak not too long ago, and it was good. I mean, it was real good. He wove in stories with the kids, and as well as just sharing a positive message that I think them kids need to hear. So he's going to be good. And he at the last I heard, he was trying to bring. Gosh, I get on there and not be completely prepared, but an ex-basketball player played in the NBA, Goose. UK player. I'll have to think of it. I'll have to think of it again in a minute. He was trying to get Jeff Shepard to come with him, but if not, he's got this other gentleman that played in the NBA, and I'll get his name here in a minute when we go to a break, because people will want to know that. So that's exciting. So to come back to finish out a couple more teams here, we got 2A private school Webb, Tennessee. We've had them before. Most people will remember Webb if they remember that at all from Keon Johnson, which incidentally Keon's probably going to be a lottery pick. They think in the NBA or close. He's going to be a first-round pick. So we didn't. I don't know that we knew at the time how good that kid was here in Caldwell's gym, but he played well. But I still don't know that we knew he'd be a first-round NBA pick here soon. So he went on to be quite the star at University of Tennessee. Makes me want to choke. But anyway,
well, the Benson Valley kid I think set the gym scoring record one night out here in the West Kentucky Hoops Classic. What do you have?
53, I believe it was. 53. So. Yeah. There's been some players come through, and then the last one of the last pickups that I got was Career Academy, Missouri. They're a 4A school over there in their public district. They are a Missouri state school, but they look to be really athletic. And St. Louis has a massive tournament, so we've just never been able to get a St. Louis team. I've tried, but they have a huge tournament over there, and it's difficult to pull one of them out of it. But he just said, "Hey man, we're looking for something different. What do you got?" And I told him some of the teams, and he said, "Well, we'd like a shot at that. We'd like to play. We'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime." Yeah. And I said, "Man, we've been wanting a Missouri team over here. So if that's you, come on and be a part." And then we've got, of course, our home, Caldwell County, Kentucky. Looking forward to seeing them, and it's great that we can have this here in our town. They kind of get, we don't promote them so much because they're our home team and we see them all the time. But without Daniel, the administration, the athletic director, which I'll touch on something about that here in a minute too. But without them being on board with this and it being a quality fundraiser for the athletic department, we wouldn't be able to have it. But we are looking forward to Caldwell. They're going to be scrappy. I was talking to Daniel the other day. They've done some good things in summer ball that maybe exceeded his expectations as well. And so we're looking forward to them and what they bring to the table and getting to see them. I still say, watching them in the regular season and then watching them in the West Kentucky Hoops Classic, they raise it a level.
Well, you have to step your game up against those teams.
They play better, and I've told Daniel that before. I'm like, gosh, they play better in the West Kentucky Hoops Classic because it is you can get run out if you don't show up out here against some of these teams. So it's nice to see them, step it up, and they're going to be good this year. So we're looking forward to it. Then I have a 1A state champ out of Mississippi. It's Biggersville, Mississippi. Ironic, that's in the county that I grew up in. And we just never, in playing for Corinth, we just never gave them any thought. Like, we just roll over and beat Biggersville, no big deal. They never made it to the finals of the county tournament. We just looked at them as this little podunk 1A school that couldn't play. And weird as times change. Of course, I've been gone for Corinth now for 25 years. But Biggersville's like hit the map in multiple sports. They've been doing some high-end state stuff in football, baseball, and basketball, and they won the state championship in basketball. Some of that's related to coaching. And Cliff Little, which nobody here is going to know, but in the state of Mississippi, Cliff's one of the best coaches in the state of Mississippi. So when I was talking to my dad, and he said, "Hey, have you ever considered Cliff, Coach Cliff and Biggersville?" And I said, "Well, I really hadn't. What do you think?" He said, "Well, he won the state tournament last year." And he said, "I think you probably ought to consider him if you've got a spot." So I called him, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, we'd be all over that." And, he lost a couple kids from the state tournament team, but Dad said it doesn't matter. He said when they hit the floor, somebody's going to have to play well to beat them. Yeah. Because he said he just has a way to he wins games he ain't supposed to win with kids that maybe he wouldn't think would. But he said they're going to be pretty good, so we'll do that. You need to take a pause break.
Need to get to a break real quick, but we'll be back with more on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Raider Auction Company, Hopkinsville, buys and sells farm equipment every day. Find out more at RaiderAuctionCompany.com. That's ROEDER auctioncompany.com.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, 80% chance of rain and thunderstorms today with a high temperature topping out at 80 degrees. 80% chance continuing in the evening hours. It's low down to 64 degrees. Mostly sunny skies on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high 82, Saturday's high 80 degrees. Once again, our forecast today, 80% chance of showers, thunderstorms. Today's high near 80 degrees. Right now we're at a muggy 74 degrees and cloudy skies.
They say variety is the spice of life. We all want choices. Men and women want to pick what they want. When it's time to select that special truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has the variety. 3 brands to choose from: Chevrolet, GMC, and Ram. Whether you're a farmer, whether you're pulling a camper with your favorite person, or whether you just want to drive a truck, Trice Hughes in Princeton has your truck. Stop by and pick out your truck today.
Find them on Highway 91 North Princeton or at tricehughes.com.
Today is Christian County Farm Bureau Day at the Western Kentucky State Fair. 4-H and FFA Homemakers Exhibit check-in 9 till noon. 4-H and Dairy Goat Show at 9. Gates open at 4 with free admission to Farm Bureau members with coupon till 6. Farm Bureau meeting in the Convention Center at 4. Rides open at 5 with unlimited armbands, $20 per person. Market Goat Show at 6. Paddle pull competition at 6:30. And farm stock tractor and diesel truck pulls at 7 in the grandstand. Visit westernkentuckystatefair.org.
And we are back on the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. Torrey Hammett is with us this morning. We're talking about the West Kentucky Hoops Classic. And, Torrey, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but looks like a great lineup for the boys, and girls lineup also set now.
Yeah. I'll touch on the girls in just a second. So we were finishing up with some of the boys with the 1A Bakersfield, Mississippi. And then we have 2A Murray, Kentucky's coming back. They were scheduled last year during the COVID year, so they're coming back. They're going to be better kids, a couple kids that have had another year to grow and get better, so we're looking forward to what they bring to the table. And then after my aggressively hard pitch sale to Coach Ryan Perry, I finally convinced him to bring Lyon County over.
Oh, wow. That's like breaking news right there.
We've kind of been trying, and, you know, of course, we know a lot about their team here, and we know a lot about Travis, and it's funny. I got into kind of a Twitter argument with some dude put out some ranking in the state of Kentucky and Indiana, the top 25 players in the state of Kentucky and Indiana, and I'm just glancing down that list, and I'm thinking, man, I don't see Travis's name on here. So I sent back a note on Twitter that said basically any ranking that you have in the state of Kentucky that doesn't have Travis Perry in it, that's got 25 kids in it, is a junk ranking. Well, he didn't like it, so he starts popping back all this stuff to me. So we bantered back and forth. I kicked Ryan a text and said, "Man, I said, go look at this," and of course he just laughed. And
well, the kid scored over 2,000 career points already.
Yeah. What are you? And what the dude was arguing about, which, man, it makes me frustrated. Now, I'm not a lifelong Kentuckian, but it frustrates me because he started saying, "Well, you got to get out of small town West Kentucky, come over here and play somebody." And I'm thinking, man, we'll play anybody. We have a tournament over here. Come on, you come over here. I'll get you an opponent. Yeah. We'll just see how good everybody really is. And anyway, so he said, and then like a week goes by or 2 weeks goes by, and the matchup hits for summer ball, where Travis is playing against Reed Shepherd.
Yeah.
And he popped off and like, well, I guess we're going to find out now. I don't keep up with it that much, so I had no idea that was even happening. So I didn't even chirp back. I just thought, well, we'll just, in my mind, I'm thinking, we'll just see. So Ryan kicked me a message after that game, said, well, Travis had rolled his ankle in the second half, but he already had like 34 and was probably going to score 40 plus and was playing really good. Of course, the Shepherd boy played good too. But I think they beat Lyon by like 5 or 6 points. But Lyon had baseball kids playing, so that wasn't even there. So you throw those boys in the mix, who knows? But anyway, it was all fun, and I've had a good time talking with Ryan, and already kind of promoting Travis a little bit. And we wanted them to be in the tournament. They're going to get opportunities to play in other places, maybe that cross up our dates a little bit. So they can't always, they want to leave too. They want to go somewhere and play too. So I get it. But it worked out where his schedule is such that they can play one game over here. So essentially they're going to play their Caldwell County home game within our tournament.
Okay.
So we're going to get to feature, Lyon County with all their kids are good, but with Travis, because he's the highlight of the roster, of course. But I don't know if Caldwell's been keeping up with it, because it is kind of hard to follow that summer ball if you don't just have Twitter or if you're not in sports like you. But we have J. Bron Spikes, and J. Bron's on the map and he's playing really good. So, and he's grown into, a kind of a young, good athlete that I got to coach some even early on, into this young man that's built and been working out and athletic. So we're going to promote and tab the J-Brown Caldwell County versus. Well, I am. I don't know since I get to tweet about it. Caldwell County's J-Brown Spikes and team versus Travis Perry's Lyon County Lions and team, and promote that for the local flavor. And we're going to set them in between two of these big A matchups on the last night. So we hope to have a big crowd. It helps financially make the money for Caldwell County Athletics Department. So plan on December 27th and 28th to be a part. That game will be on the 28th. So that's the boys roster. Huffman, Alabama, that's 1 state. Arlington, Tennessee, that's 2. Holmes County, Mississippi, that's 3. Marion, Arkansas, that's 4. Webb, Tennessee, that's 5. Career Academy, Missouri, that's 6 states. And then, of course, Caldwell County, Kentucky, Bakersville, Mississippi, Lyon County, Kentucky, and Murray, Kentucky for the boys team. So great representation from lots of states. Going to be good basketball. Going to see different styles, athletic, more discipline. We're going to see all kinds of ball. So we're looking forward to that. So on the girls' side, talking with Coach Mitchell, he did a little magic and worked out where we could pull off having 5 teams this year instead of just 4. So we have, of course, our local Caldwell County girls, which they're playing, getting better. Been watching some interviews by him, just talking about how they're young, putting together a little chemistry and getting better even as we speak. Lyon County girls, so we're going to have the Lyon County boys and girls featured in our tournament. Girls will play both days, but we'll have them involved as well. Hickman County, Kentucky will be a team that will play in the girls' side, and Davies County, Kentucky will be a team that plays in the girls' side. The magic Coach Chuck worked is the Bakersville boys. Again, my father called because they all run together down there in Corinth and said, "Hey, could you get his girls in?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a spot. We're full." And he said, "Well, they're coming anyway because his daughter plays for the girls. Coach's daughter plays, and he coaches them both." Yeah. And he said, "Can you get him in?" I said, "I don't think so." I said, "But let me call Coach Mitchell and see." So I called him, and we kind of worked around. He said, "Well, if we could add 1 game, and we could do it, and we can't do day 2 because of the breakfast, an early game at 9:30." Anyway, he said, "Let me go talk to administration." So pat on the back to our administration and athletic department by allowing us to add a day 1 9:30 game. So we'll actually have 8 games on day 1. Which allows Bakersville, Mississippi, to bring their girls and play 1 game. So Caldwell will play 3 games now. They'll play 2 games on day 1 and a game on day 3, and they'll play. So Bakersville girls will play on day 1 mid afternoon game. Give them time to get here and get ready to play basketball. So we got 5 teams there. So 2 states represented in the girls' side, and that's great because we want to develop that into all that it can be as well alongside the boys. So looking forward to that and having 5 girls teams, 10 boys teams, a lot of good kids. Maybe we can do this again and I can be a little bit more educated on some of the rosters other than just saying, hey, they're good and athletic and big. Yeah. I mean, we're going to have 6'8", 6'9" kids. I can't remember if one of them was 6'11", but I've seen so many roster sizes. But we're going to have big kids here. We're going to have athletic kids here, and it's going to be a good time. So looking forward to it, and I'm thankful for Caldwell County and the administration because it does make they do have to put people in the building that's a work setting for them. So if you're not a diehard basketball fan, you're really just at work. So they don't have to do that. So we're thankful to them for doing that. So that's going to be Monday, December 27th, followed by Tuesday, December 28th at the Cab Building, Princeton, Kentucky. West Kentucky Hoops Classic. Well, one of my questions was going to be if there were any future plans to expand or add another couple of games or go to a third day. I mean, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I would kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm all for it because it's a lot of work, and a handful of people are involved doing a lot of that labor. But I like it. I mean, I love recruiting the teams. I love talking to the coaches. I love trying to convince them to why they should come here. Because we do have a lot to offer. A lot of folks do a lot to help us offer that. The Breakfast HR Ministries was a big asset to help us do that. But the administration, the town, just being willing to sponsor has helped us be able to draw those teams over here and just treat them with quality hospitality. We have some ladies that work our meal that night in our hospitality room that are great and committed, and it's work for them. There's nothing in that for them other than we want to have the best thing going for Caldwell County and these teams that come. So it helps us look positive to them. But yeah, I have had teams turn us down that I'm talking good teams turn us down because they weren't getting 3 games. Well, they're like, well, hey, we got to get 3 games during the holidays, or even 4, because a lot of places give them 4, and a lot of places have a play out to win something. Whereas we're kind of classic style, we're just kind of showcase. So I've had them had a really good team in Kentucky on the Central Kentucky that they just wanted to, kids wanted to play for a championship of something because they think they're good enough to win wherever they go. So you couldn't do it. So we've kind of talked that around. A little of it comes from the labor involved, and you got to convince folks that it's a good thing to do. So we're trying to be really happy and satisfied with what we got. But yeah, I jab every year for just a little bit more. So maybe we can crack through the ceiling and get into a 3-day deal where we can have a championship maybe in 2 different classes.
That'd be awesome.
Of talent. Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I appreciate you coming in today. I know we kind of went just a little bit long, but this is all great information, and great to find out Lyon County is going to be one of the teams coming in, and maybe next time you come in we'll know who some of the other players are and can go through some of these teams and kind of go through the rosters and see just who all is going to be here. Yeah, we'd be glad to do it, and I'll have a little more information, and hopefully we'll have all the final contract in hand here in the next couple weeks. So we think we're good to go. Looking forward to it. December 27th, 28th, Princeton, Kentucky, West Kentucky Hoops Classic. You want to make plans to be there. Yeah, absolutely. Torrey, I appreciate you coming in. Always thanks for your help. And like I said, we'll talk again before the Hoops Classic gets here for sure. Sounds good, Todd. Thank y'all. That is Torrey Hammett of the West Kentucky Hoops Classic. I appreciate him coming in today. Also, thanks to Corky Peck for coming in and talking about the Lyon County baseball run to the state semifinals just a couple of weeks ago in Lexington. Always good to talk to Corky and to Torrey, so I appreciate you listening in this morning. That's going to wrap us up on the Sideline Report. This is Todd Griffin. You've been listening to the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY, Princeton.